from players, to players, these players. Messed up that intro. We are here with the third quarterfinal. Playing as the yellow tribe, yellow base. It's going to be our yellow player for the duration of this tournament. It is PopTB Firestorm, who's actually the only player that got a bye and got through to the next round. All the other players that got byes to the round of 16 were actually eliminated. Firestorm, the only one that got through. His opponent playing as the red tribe, red position, PopTB Blast. Blast versus Firestorm. This is Hollow Fields 2. This map was picked by Blast, so we will see if Blast has some super secret strategy that he wants to do to win this match. Good Blast. Going to take out one of the warriors, one of the Braves. Be very, very annoying. This is going to be one of those casts where I get everything wrong. I can feel it already. You haven't figured it out by now from watching this tournament. Hollow Fields is a map about tree harvesting, really. It only really has two paths. This one is accessible by a single land bridge. This one is already connected. You will occasionally see a third path be opened here, and in games that feature Spinifex or T-Rod, alongside duel from here to here. That typically happens as well. So the predictions of this game, community feel that both of the players in this game are high skilled, so we will see if that echoes throughout the set. Repeating for the sake of YouTube, the map bans were Yggdrasil and Four Walls. So two of the most standard maps that the community are used to playing, both taken out the pool. So we're going to see all the weird maps. CES is our map number 3, so we are at the very least going to see a CES game, which is stupid. But yellow's been a bit slower than red on the towers. Look at this difference. We've got 7 towers out of the red player, only 1 for yellow. Yellow's not building the towers here, which, you know, we know how much I like these towers. Bit more defense from yellow is required. It looks like yellow's sending forward the Braves to actually achieve that now. Wood piles being placed down as the trees are being harvested. This is probably the most important skill for this map, and we've got a Shaman duel going on here. Ghost Army coming down from our red player, trying to tie up the yellow Shaman into a bit of combat. The Ghost push yellow forward. Yellow takes a blast, but well-timed blast trick is going to prevent most of that damage. The red player is giving chase, however, the yellow Shaman trying to flee. Blast trick helping to secure red's demise as yellow secures the first blood amongst the Shamans. It actually has an earthquake available as well. Neither of these towers have been filled. Going to be seeing what our yellow Shaman does. Red clicks the Fire Warriors out of the towers. They're going to give chase to the Shaman, but unfortunately that does mean that she's probably just going to walk around them and get in. The Fire Warriors from behind are going to push her forward, and getting pushed forward means the earthquake going down. Two huts going down early on. That's a nice little bit of damage. The yellow Shaman is cleared up by the Fire Warriors. The red Shaman has respawned, and the red Shaman doesn't have access to an earthquake yet, so I don't know what red's doing with their mana. But it wasn't charging earthquakes, charging a lot of ghosts with a 4 stack of Ghost Army. Firestorm's building a very standard base, building it out quite far, I would say. Little bit of upgrading already happening at the back of the base as the red Shaman's been slowed by a couple of Braves. I think she was trying to push in. She's got her Earthquake now. We're going to see if she can respond like for like and get an earthquake deep into Yellow's base, or is going to have to use it at the front here. The blast from Yellow does not quite connect. The second blast follow-up does. Red Shaman's still alive. The Yellow Shaman standing still. Oh, the Red Shaman just about gets that earthquake off. I don't know what the Yellow Shaman earthquake did. What on earth was that? Red's first earthquake did nothing but set fire to this hut. It didn't even get any population. We're going to be seeing what happens as this tournament continues, though. The Yellow Shaman has charged a second earthquake. Population's 52 to 56, with the max population 80 to 63, telling the real story. This damage down here certainly adding to that. Warrior training hut coming in for Yellow on the front line, and a second one at the back as well, so I don't mind that. Frontline ones I always hate because they're so exposed, but they do get warriors to the front line quicker. But this one at the back means that Yellow is always going to be able to produce at least some warriors for the inevitable trooping that is going to start. Red Shaman tanks 1 Fire Warrior shot, 2 Fire Warrior shots to the face. Third Fire Warrior shot, but these are not from the tower, so they do a lot less damage. Good blasting from our Red Shaman gets Yellow pushed into the water with a combination of the Graves? Ghost Braves. Graves. That was the acronym. Yellow Fire Warriors clicked onto the Red Shaman, though, going to take her out immediately. Poor RNG roll on the Shaman health there, going down super easy to those Fire Warriors. Very interesting what Yellow's done. Yellow has built the first half of the base in a manner that says, earthquake me, earthquake me. The second half of the base, he's gone, just fuck it, put some huts down. I'm just going to put some huts down, it don't matter where they're. Look at this. Who needs a grid? Just build the huts. So, the Ghost Army coming down, going to be getting this Fire Warrior out of the tower. What is our Red Shaman going to be doing? Red does have available to her 1 Earthquake. But nothing else really. Tornado from the Yellow Shaman going to take out this tower. It did have a little bit of high ground, so it was a bit annoying. The Ghost Brave's going to get the Shaman out the hut. Unfortunately, this is a real Brave, so it does hold the Yellow Shaman up long enough that the Yellow Shaman can just... that the Red Shaman can just get back into the hut. Throws down a Ghost Army as the lightning comes down onto the Red Shaman, securing a kill. As the first Yellow Warrior is going to start pushing their way across the map. Ghost Army being used on the Warriors to make additional Warriors for tanking towers. Great use of Ghosts, if you ask me. But then Yellow kills the real Warriors by the own blast, so, you know, a great use of Ghost followed by a very shitty use of Blast. You cannot distract shift-clicked Fire Warriors with Ghost Army. Do not even try. 6 Fire Warriors shooting on the Shaman managed to secure the kill there. Red's probably going to get those Fire Warriors back into towers now. Red's Warrior's going to push forward. Yellow's got quite a good defense of troops. Plenty of Fire Warriors in towers and even Fire Warriors in huts as well. Going to be slowing down the advance of these Warriors. Good blast onto the hut. Clears out those Fire Warriors. Remember, Fire Warriors inside huts make themselves visible For a brief time to shoot, they technically exit the hut and then re-enter it. Earthquake coming down from our red shaman onto the front line warrior training hut. This is just one, and it is going to survive as well. Blast coming in for red onto yellow. Yellow's doing good with the blast trick. Gonna kill the red shaman as the red shaman opts to cast an earthquake with the very last of her life. The yellow shaman needs to spam blast to stay alive. Save some of the population as well. So, Warrior's going to be pushing forwards, trying to get into battle with the red fire warriors before they can shoot on the shaman. The yellow shaman has to be careful, can't take too many fire warrior volleys, you're not immortal. These warriors are going to be spread out amongst the towers. Now, red's warriors have been sallied forth to mount a defense. Well placed blast gets one of the warriors into the water, the other two still alive. One of them stuck on a hill. Good use of tornado on the hut that was being filled with fire warriors so that it cannot be used as a defensive structure. Last warrior of the three that showed up being taken out now, and I think there's a real yellow warrior in this tower. There is, so that tower's going to be damaged shortly. Warrior's going to be useful. Do a little bit of damage. Oh, the red shaman narrowly avoiding getting hit by lightning there, but yellow's blasts connect, but it's not enough to secure the kill. The yellow shaman does go down. Yellow's definitely been doing a lot of the blast trick. Yellow's a very confident player with the shaman, knows how to take a duel. But a little bit of fire warrior intervention a couple of times has been the demise of our yellow shaman. Perhaps more confident when facing other shamans than when facing troops. As you can see, yellow's base is just arse. First half of yellow's base was great, second half not so great. I actually didn't see how red died there because I didn't think red would die. I thought we'd be able to go back to the attack. Red probably got caught off guard by some fire warriors in huts or was just being a bit stupid. So as we can see, the yellow base is a bag of arse. There are some majorly upgraded huts. Red's been taking care of his trees. That's super important. And as you can see, because it's being built in a grid, it's going to get longer and larger. Populations 99 to 108. The max pops 153 to 123 for our red player. Now, because red's building in a grid, red will be able to eventually take over on the max population. But for now, it's going to be a push of yellow against red again. No land bridge out of our yellow player. Yellow's charging a stack of 4 lights and uses one of them to get a shaman kill. Really useful because now they have 3 to help clear out these towers. Should see a lightning onto the tower. No, a little bit slow. Going to use a swarm instead. Lightning onto the other tower though. Even more swarms coming down. The yellow shaman keeps getting held up by population. Needs to react quicker. The fire warriors are on their way. They get swarmed as well. Couple of fire warriors still alive. Shaman getting bullied around in combat with a warrior. She's going to die to the warrior if she's not careful. Throws down one of the earthquakes. Fire warriors zoning in for the kill. That shot might do it. No, she's just about alive. Oh, but there's a red fire warrior over here that I didn't even see, and he pushes her into the water. Yellow just throwing down an earthquake to spend the mana, doing a bit of damage. No land bridge for either of our players yet. Both players holding onto an earthquake. Full stack taunts from red, gonna tear back some of this defense, which I always like. You can never go wrong with a stack of tornadoes. First tornado comes down onto this pesky hut. It's been filled with fire warriors and has gotten plenty of troop kills. Double tornado onto the high ground towers as well. Our yellow player is going to want to replace those as quickly as possible. Oh, red catches yellow, not watching the shaman, gets a well-placed lightning kill and is now going to be able to push into the base. Fire warriors have been clicked forward, but they're kind of distracted between having to deal with the warriors just getting a couple of cheeky pushes there. Oh, that double shot from the fire warriors there. They get a good couple of volleys off and red actually goes down again. That's a shame. That was a really good attacking opportunity for red, but it didn't pay off. Red goes down. These warriors probably not going to get too much damage done. Nice micro from yellow, making sure they stutter step so they're firing their maximum number of shots before returning to the front line. This warrior is probably also going to get cleaned up at some point as well. Fire warriors firing to offer some support. No, more interested in this one. This warrior is seeing stars as well, so there he goes. Red warriors dealt with. Population's 119 to 139. Max pop still in favor of yellow by about 30. Look at these shaman spells. 4 stack of lights, 2 earthquakes. 4 stack of lights, 2 taunts, 2 earthquakes. And there is a land bridge in the inventory for our yellow player, so could actually look to open up that side door, threaten it. Whoa, first lightning does not connect. Second lightning is good, however. Nice cheeky convert out of our yellow shaman, but that does not stop you getting S-clicked. These towers, quick to be replaced, which means our red shaman's going to have to deal with them first. There goes the first tornado. There's the second tornado, so yeah, double tornado to pick those up. Clear out those towers, but don't worry, there's still more tiles that towers can be built on. You know, it's just going to keep maintaining that tower production. It's done a good job of it so far, but this map really starts to get messy when one player gets lazy about how much they build towers. You can see red's not done the same. You know, red is also building towers, not replenishing the ones on the front line. Double swarm coming down for red as she gets into a fist fight with a brave. What is all these braves? Yellow just throwing population at red to try to stop the shaman getting in. That's so annoying. Useful, but annoying. Oh, the red shaman does not quite get connected with that. Another awful earthquake for red. Red's going to be shouting at the RNG gods with these earthquakes. Lightning coming out from Blast does not connect Firestorm. Another tornado coming out to take out one of the filled towers. Second tornado going to take out the hut as well. Another earthquake, but this is completely damaged ground. I'd be surprised if this did anything. This is all damaged ground. The earthquake damaged ground, barely anything's going to happen. There's the land bridge from the tower. The tower's not even needed on this map. You can just land bridge. So we're going to get a good old-fashioned base trade. Or we would if yellow shaman was not stuck on a hill. So, our red shaman has access to 0 spells. We'll be able to charge another spell with the population that he has available to him. Firestorm coming out from yellow. We're going to be looking at the push in as the red shaman stands on the high ground, just being a bit of a nuisance. Red actually charging lightning, so probably looking to disable some towers or steal a cheeky shaman kill. Second Firestorm coming out from yellow is going to get hut into the depths of the red base here. This base trade absolutely going to favour the yellow player unless these warriors make magic happen. Double earthquake coming down. There you go. Good spread. We'll see if RNG is on yellow's side. Gets a warrior training hut. Gets a fire warrior training hut. There is a backup fire warrior hut, which is nice, and a backup warrior hut as well. So yellow has one issue, and that's really the shaman in the base. The shaman in the base has just been cleaned up, so yellow is going to be comfortable from here. You can just train warriors and fire warriors and deal with the remaining troops. Looks like yellow also has gone down. We look at the populations. The populations are much closer than you think, but look at that difference in max population. So the actual population on the field, 112 to 101, but the max population, 134 for red, 190 for yellow. Yellow has a lot of that beloved green bar. And the trees as well. Look at yellow's trees. Lightning does connect to the red shaman. Yellow securing the first kill there. Warriors going to be picking up even more kills on Braves. These warriors are being a big nuisance. They've actually damaged one of these large huts down to only one stack of wood. Even more warriors just starting to trickle in. Yellow needs to take some time to mount a defense, really. Warriors getting one of the large huts there, going to help in the maximum population dent. They are being very annoying, and they're actually getting quite a bit of pop, but Yellow's sending warriors of his own to clear that up now. This warrior's probably not long for the world. He'll get that last brave and then go down. Even more warriors over here. Just going to keep engaging. Red Shaman's trying to go wherever Yellow Shaman isn't. Bored of getting hit by lightning, but the Yellow Shaman is paying attention and is just going to chase the Shaman around. Yellow Warriors dancing outside the hut. Whoa! We caught the tail end of that lightning duel in which Yellow rolled around for the fun of it. Dodging into a tower. Oh, that's risky. Very risky play for Red here, trying to push into the tower. Let's check the camp timer. Yellow's in that tower for 14 seconds. Good tornado from the yellow player, going to pick up the Shaman. The proximity blasts are going to add additional damage to the HP. Red did survive, so Red could have done a fancy little Lambridge thing to stay alive, but opted not to. Instead, just going down. Warriors are continuing to run into the yellow base. Yellow's having a little bit of trouble just keeping the warriors out as they continue to run in. And our yellow shaman's going to launch another counterattack. Not a very big one, just going to throw an earthquake down. Deals a little bit of damage, gets a good couple of fire warriors. More warriors going to be running at the yellow defense as the yellow shaman's getting bullied by a warrior. His fire warrior's practicing his forward rolls. Really thought the yellow shaman was going to roll down a hill there. If that was my shaman, she would have just rolled down a hill. Lightning from the yellow shaman doesn't quite find the red shaman, but the red shaman's walking up a hill. Needs to be careful. Not get caught by yellow with the lights. Oh, the counter lightning from red almost gets yellow into the water. Dodging into the tower does red to get a long-range snipe. Doesn't quite find the target. But the thinking was good. The execution was good. Just not the final result. Lightning from the yellow shaman onto red as red gets a good earthquake off at the front of the base. Going to be seeing the troops pushing in. Addy going on about his soup. His super controversial soup that he makes. Warriors grouped up are going to take some proximity damage. Remember, fire warriors deal AoE damage on the tile that they shoot at. So warriors grouped up like that when the fire warriors shoot. All those warriors are taking that damage. Now, warriors have a lot of health, so it's okay to take one or two. But more efficient trooping says they should be spread out as much as possible. As we get another Firestorm coming down from our yellow shaman player and an earthquake as well. The red shaman throwing down one lightning, two lightnings. The red shaman's still alive, manages to kill yellow. Push yellow out of the base. But all these warriors have sort of been spread out and they're just sort of running all over the place. Looking to thin out defense, looking to secure a couple of pop kills where they can. The Red Shaman's in a bit of a precarious position, does decide to move. We're going to be seeing a counter push from Red here. Just kidding, we're going to see a Brave push Red into the water because Red kept casting blasts. Is that a hurt? That might not be a hurt. This tile might be water. That's a hurt, though. So, yellow player going to be patrolling Fire Warriors on the high ground of Red's base. Red narrowly dodging a lightning there out of yellow, throwing down. Oh, a counter lightning of his own. The Shaman HP will be dropping after those Fire Warrior volleys, but the lightning is good from Red. Lambridge from Red might break that hurt. Oh, that hurt just about clings on for dear life. This hurt, though? Nope. Red's building some, like, interesting little wall here. What Red's thought process is here is actually very good. He's connected this piece of high ground so that the warriors can reach it easily. Otherwise, those two Fire Warriors would be patrolling as things struggle up the hill. Tornado coming out from Red onto one of the huts. There is defense here, and in fact the Yellow Shaman is alive and just nails Red with a lightning. Quick exchange. Red had to know that the Shaman was there and on her way to the front line, as Red took a very long time to set up that Lambridge light defense thing, and Yellow's playing with fire here, trying to spell walk across the edge of the water. Struggling with it a little bit, it looks like. Oh, cast blast. Oh, come on, Yellow. You could do it. You could do it, Yellow. Yeah, there you go. Yellow manages it. Tornado onto one of the huts as the Shaman continues to skirt around the edge. Another Earthquake comes down for Yellow. Blast onto a Fire Warrior. Oh, the respawn lightning. That's going to be game, I strongly suspect, for our Yellow Shaman. Red is building everywhere, and Red does have a sizable base, but it'll be what Yellow does with this. Have a little look at Yellow's spells. Yellow only has one Earthquake, so actually might not be very much damage coming in from this. It might come down to the next spawn of the Shaman, unless these Fire Warriors get the Shaman, in which case it won't need to. Wow, that Fire Warrior push combo. Mega push onto the Yellow Shaman there. She went skidding. Pushing in Populous is multiplicative. It's a technique that pro players use a lot in all versions of the game. A proximity blast will send someone back a certain amount of distance. A brave push will send someone back a certain amount of distance. But if you blast someone being pushed, they will fly much further than the aggregate of those two distances combined. You'll see a very common tactic, particularly on maps like Yggdrasil. You'll get ghost armies put down, you expect the ghost to start pushing the Shaman, you time the blast to the push, the Shaman yeets herself into the water, if you get lucky, and if your blast shot's good. Yellow Warriors getting cleaned up on this side here, the Red Warriors in position to defend, very useful. Red Shaman still alive there, just about manages to avoid the light, avoids the second light as well. The third light though! Third light does the job. Red's cast there was for a Lambridge instead of a lightning. not sure why red opted for the land bridge. Does red have lightnings? Yeah, red does have lightnings. Very lightning heavy duel is our very first match of this best of 5. This map tends to give us a bit longer, but this will probably by far be our longest game. If you didn't know what the rest of the sequence of maps are, we've got Dead Sea coming up next, then Cess after Dead Sea, then we've got Bifrost, and then we have, if it goes to game 5, we've got frickin' Face Off. Good spawn, well, it's not quite a spawn kill, but good kill, catching the Shaman, walking up the high ground there. Yellow's been very on point with this lightning heavy style of play. So, Ghost Army going to be distracting the towers as the Shaman pushes forward. Fire Warriors have been clicked on the Shaman, but at this point they're actually pushing her further into the base instead of out of it. There goes one Earthquake. We do know that Yellow has access to another Earthquake as well, but does the Shaman stay alive long enough to cast it? No, she does not. We can see that Yellow Warriors have also started getting into the base, running past all the towers, getting a lot of stars. I don't think very many of them are actually going to make it. Pretty poor troop control. Yellow's clearly just taken all the warriors and said, run to the back of the base. And all these towers in position have had a bit of a field day, shooting them down. But this yellow trickling of troops is starting to become almost constant. You can see even Fire Warriors are going to be brought to the front lines. Even more warriors going to be trained. We can see that Red Shaman is using lightning to clear troops, which is always a sign. It's a sign of two things. It's a sign of bad trooping. It's also a sign of a player on the back foot. Yellow Shaman going to jog on the spot while the elevation of the land changes. Which I like, blocks out a lot of this, makes it much harder to sneak down here. If you roll down this hill, you're drowning. There's no tile there for you to hover on. And it's plenty of space for even more towers. So we're going to be seeing what happens here. Why is Yellow not building, man? I know you've finished your base, but look, just build. Interestingly, despite all of that, and despite all my harping on about how much of an advantage that Yellow had, the populations are almost dead even. We've got 132 to 155, with a 205 to 220 max bar. And Red's actually holding more spells right now because Red hasn't been attacking. So although I was saying that might be GG for Red, Red has proven me wrong. And I'm more than happy for Red to prove me wrong, because Red proving me wrong means we get more Populous. People complimenting the resilience of our Red player, and I definitely think that's the case. Red has not given up, and what's more, Red's not making a myriad of mistakes. You often see something in competitive games called tilt, where a player starts to make a lot of mistakes because they get frustrated, although that's the kind of thing that would tilt you. So again, our Red Shaman does go down in a lightning trade. A Yellow Shaman going to push in, get shot by a couple of towers. She needs to be careful. If she takes another double volley, she could be in danger. There you go. You've got the Earthquake taking out the warrior, training her. Fire Warrior in a tower, shoots the Shaman once again. Her health's going to be pretty low, but there's the Firestorm from Yellow, going to get Yellow further into the base. Yellow's got one more Earthquake in the chamber. This is probably going to be where Yellow pulls ahead quite strongly. As you can see, there's a lot of... I thought these were warriors. They're not. They're ghosts, so don't worry. Our Yellow Shaman is actually still alive with the biggest amount of BS I've ever seen. Wow, those Earthquakes were destructive. Yellow gets a 3 Earthquake attack. Yellow has so much population, so much mana available that you can actually just cast 3 Earthquakes and win. Population's now 174 to 111 with 148 green bar to 235. What does our red player do? Our red player makes land. So as you can see, our red player, despite taking that damage, still doesn't want to give up. Just giving us good games here. Going to play it out to the very end. So what's next for yellow? Well, yellow has to play territory control. What does that mean? Well, as red pushes further and further back with these expansions, yellow has to push further and further with his own. So pushing this far back is now going to make this harder to defend with the population, because all the population is right at the back of the base. The more further out you're spread, the thinner your line, the harder it is to defend. Yellow just has to crawl towers forward, use warriors to strip out the front fortifications, crawl towers forward, start to build where red's base used to be. Honestly, if yellow really wanted to, if yellow wanted to play the trooping game based on the amount of troop huts that red does not have, yellow could even fill in this water with the mana available, and just then there's not these narrow paths that warriors drown on. You can just fill this in, and then you've got flat land that will just troop out the red player. Whether or not that's the correct play, I don't know. That's probably what I would do if I was in yellow's position. 189 pop with 5 warrior training huts, 4 warrior training huts, knowing that red has 0 warrior training huts. Yellow's going to build a wall. He's going to build a wall instead, and he's going to ask Mexico to pay for it. Red's doing a little bit of what we said. Nice land bridge. Pretty sure that wasn't the elevation of the land it was cast on, but a little bit of wall building going on here. Both players trying to set up a defensible position. Unfortunately, yellow has forgotten how towers work and has placed the plans down before the land bridge finished. So the Braves are actually going to jump that down to a lower height. These Fire Warriors in here going to chip away at that hut. Nice to see. Blast says Eric in the chat. So Blast thinks he's against Eric right now. If that helps any of your guesses. First Earthquake coming down for our yellow Shaman player on the front line of the red base. Gonna do minimal damage. Really not doing very much at all. Second Earthquake coming down as well as the lightning kills the red Shaman, but the Fire Warriors get the shot. Both Shamans dead. Yellow breaking the 200 pop threshold. That's a 1.5 special. Troop. Yellow troop. It's funny, yellow's got about 80 population more and has exactly the same amount of warriors and actually less fire warriors. Yellow wants that mana. You can see yellow's charged the double Firestorm already, charging an Earthquake as well. Probably going to work on a Volcano, I strongly suspect, because what else are you going to do with 170 Braves worth of mana? Lightning comes down onto the red Shaman, going to secure the kill there. What do you know, guys? Look at that! Who'd have thought that would happen? As our yellow Shaman pushes in, both Shamans have the exact same number of seconds spent in a tower. Both red and yellow have spent 1 minute and 8 seconds in towers. They actually have identical tower camping scores. Who'd have known it? His very useful stat, as you know. We call it the Keith 52 counter. This little statistic at the bottom, it's how many seconds a shaman has been inside a tower. Oh, big money erodes from our blast player. Throws down an earthquake, a double blast. Trying to mess up the defense. RNG doesn't quite save him. But he does lower all of this down and make a mess over here. Very silly attack. That was a flex attack, that was. I don't care if it did barely any damage. That was a double erode attack. Great play. We love erode. We'll see if yellow opts to make any land. Both players just land bridging all of this back up. What was the point of the double erode earthquake that did no damage if you're then just going to reconnect it all back up? I suppose yellow did do this one. Yellow pulling ahead on the Keith 52 counter. Up to 92 seconds. 92 seconds in a tower, that's a minute and a half. Lightning comes down, misses the red shaman. Secondary lightning also misses. Red doing a little bit of a dance. Stop trying to hit me and hit me, says the red shaman as she dances back and forth. Trying to deal some damage, and as you can see, my entire minimap's gone red, so I'm just going to fix that. Oh, yeah, I didn't think red was on that tile. Yellow catches red trying to sneak into a tower. The timing's slightly off. Red moved onto the tower tile just in time to avoid being struck by a lightning. As you can see, the red base is a mess. It's an absolute mess. But red is not giving up. Red is going to continue to use land bridges to make walls, set up defensive positions, and look at all these ghosts just being forced in. Earthquake comes down, land bridge comes down to save the huts from sinking. And you can sort of see what I was talking about earlier about what yellow does now. The game becomes territorial. What yellow should do is cover this in yellow towers while red is preoccupied. And it just keeps strangling red, taking opportunities for red to keep the base. Both players spamming lightning like you wouldn't believe. Red actually gets the better of the yellow shaman in the duel there, and red's land is coming back for building on. Oh boy, 35 warriors going to be pushing in. They're poorly controlled, so they're going to be taking a bunch of splash damage. And here comes the counter swarm. 36 warriors of yellow with their hands up. I hope they noticed that. That could have been a devastating loss. The red shaman's struggling to get up the hill. She's still over here messing around. Tornado coming down onto one of the towers. Red shaman with double earthquake, double firestorm available to him. The yellow warriors are going to clean up a good amount of the red warriors. About 10, 11 of them go down. I don't know. Good number of the warriors do go down, but our yellow shaman is once again on the high ground. Nails the lightning, max range lightning from I think from within the tower. I'm not sure. Firestorm comes down from our red shaman, who says Eric is so boring. Really, really hammering on that our yellow player is Eric. But we're coming up to 45 minutes, and this is just game one. Red on currently the best Keith 52 counter timer of 69 seconds. Yellow at an impressive 92. Lightning's coming out from yellow, failing to find... Well, the first one failed to find the kill, but the second one absolutely does get the red shaman here. Red's doing his best to stay in the game. He's cast 117 blasts this game. Yellow only casting 93. 17 earthquakes to 7. 5 firestorms to 1. But look at that double erode. Juicy double erode. Here comes our yellow shaman throwing down a firestorm and picking up the red shaman in a tornado, who then gets dumped in the middle of said firestorm. Very annoying, but the red shaman is still alive so long as she's paying attention. And she gets ignited again. What is that? Firestorm's stupid ignition radius, and gets a kill on the red shaman. Very stupid. Chat want me to call out the amount of lightnings cast. 28 to 45. That's a lot of lightnings. Yeah, the players definitely using a lot of lightning. I don't know what the book is. We keep asking Divinity what the book represents, and he keeps not telling us. I think it's accidental encyclopedia presses, even though the encyclopedia isn't in the game anymore. But, we'll find out. So the Yellow Warriors going to be doing a little bit of a dance with the red ones. Getting majority kill there. Going to be trying to push in as well as the red shaman is alive. Standing watch, vigilant at the front lines. Lambridge coming out from red to fill in some of the damaged ground. Red's still not built in the part of the base that was destroyed earlier on. We can see towers coming in for red at the area by the core to try to fortify that position, which is a decision I don't hate. Defensive Firestorm coming out from our red player, was hoping to get a cheeky ignition on the shaman or some other form of BS. Firestorm going to start being spammed now like it's Earthquake. Yellow has... Whoa, that was probably not where red wanted to aim. That a crucial misclick. This is the most boring game of my life, says Blast. Blast is not having a whale of a time, but Blast is the one trying to keep in. Blast is the one trying to make this game last forever. Red is indeed getting pissed off with all the yellow's lights. Tornado going to be used on the core. Yellow does have access to a volcano. There you go. There's the incantation for our beloved volcano. The mountain rises from the ground. Yellow gets a core camp kill. The volcano rises. Yeah, I'll hurry, says Firestorm, determined that he will win. And to be fair, probably going to, looking at this population graph. Earthquake number 1. Well, another earthquake. Yellow's charging earthquakes so quickly now because Yellow's at an impressive 240 of 240 populations. Actually reached his maximum population. And the Fire Warriors get the push because Yellow is busy controlling warriors. Yellow stops manipulating the shaman there. So we're going to be watching these warriors spread out amongst the yellow base, and in theory we should see red's population drop as warriors do what they are meant to. All these fire warriors grouped up on the same tile, not good. They're going to get glitched and bugged out, which means half of them then won't fire. Should never do that with your fire warriors. Yellow's lost about 30 pop in warriors and not really done that much damage to reds yet. So many fire warriors for our red shaman. The yellow shaman's actually pushing from a different angle. I like this. All of red's defense is over here, so actually taking this down is a good idea. Just so that the warriors can continue to pour in. Red finally says it's enough. Doesn't GG, but does surrender. First game goes to Firestorm, and it was a 50-minute epic on Hollow Fields. Gonna be the longest map. What is up, everyone? It is Lovenji, and we are back with game number 2. The first game was such an epic that we had to let the players have a small break in between. Armed with coffee, water, and anything else the players want. The mental states have been reset as there's a little bit of agitation at the end of the last game. We've been killed, so we're going to get pulled into the middle, but playing as the red base in the yellow position, it is Pop TV Blast. Looking to redeem himself. Bring the score to 1-1. Of course, playing as the blue base, it is the yellow player, Firestorm. So Dead Sea, probably the most controversial element of this tournament, aside from Volcano's Rage Quit. And that is that this map is incredibly imbalanced. It favours the yellow player, as in the yellow base player, which is red in this instance. A little bit confusing, I know. It favours whoever is in yellow base so much so that it is pretty unfair and hard to get a good game out of it. You're probably wondering, why is it blue versus yellow if it's so unfair, and it's because, well, red versus green is even more unfair. But here we are. Dead Sea is just not a map that was very well designed for 1v1 scenarios. Probably won't make itself into a tournament again. But both our players doing a massive convert. As you can see, that bias showing in as red gets 48 to yellow's 29. And that is the biggest thing that surprises everyone. Responding to someone in chat, Prime says, I'm surprised so many people pick Dead Sea. And I think that's what I'm saying is the thing at this point. As imbalanced as the map is, the players do have an opportunity to ban it. Neither player wants to ban this. In fact, the bans for this series were Yggdrasil and Four Walls. So the two standard maps being banned and this nonsense being picked. Basically going to hand over to Blast a free win. So the players can't really complain about the imbalance of the map, as annoying as it is, because they could just opt not to play it. Lots of players have in fact banned Dead Sea. Other alternative is you could not ban Dead Sea, but just not pick it. Because if you don't pick it, you don't have to be the rubbish base. But both our shamans coming forward. Red throwing down a convert to pick up an extra brave. Red probably not even charged blast as he goes down. 3 blasts cast from our yellow player as the red warriors start to spread out amongst the braves. Already getting their first kill. Probably going to see some more. 54 population for our red player as he builds all over the place. This is a good map for not dying, as you can just put huts wherever you want. And 3 warrior training huts for our red player. First spell for red is Land Bridge as well. Now you need to charge 2 land bridges against blue base, because blue actually has 2 exits to the base. There is one here. This is the obvious one, but blue can actually get out of the base here. Blue can walk up this hill. Now this is awful, mind. Very awful map. A very awful path to take because it's so long, slow, and high ground, but it is a path into the base. Warriors going to be spreading out, taking out the yellow tribe looking for Braves. Going to be massacring in their numbers. Yellow doesn't have a single warrior training hut. So yellow's just going to lose this game very quickly. Built plenty of huts, but no warrior training huts. Our red player's going to move around. Only has the one land bridge, so probably doesn't know about this exit for the blue base. Blast number 1 comes down. Second blast. It's also good. Tornado onto the warrior training hut. Yellow's only just finished that bloody thing, and now it's been taken apart by Tornado. Yeah, you got that, says Firestorm, and the land bridge to secure the victory as Firestorm surrenders. Games go 1-1. The Dead Sea victory going the way of Blast. Oh my god, we're on Cess again. Second quarterfinal featuring this map. This map barely got picked in the earlier sets. The round of 25 in the round of 16. This map barely got picked, and here we are, seeing it a second time in the quarterfinals. This is New Brimnir Palace, also called Cess. There's a long dramatic story about why this is called Cess and not New Brimnir Palace, because originally this used to be called Cess, and then it was renamed, and then it was renamed again, and then it was renamed again, and people got really mad and angry because apparently they love this map like their unborn child, except they also hate this map like their mother-in-law. So, I hope I did some justice to the story of Cess there. Playing as the red tribe. Oh, bloody hell, they switched the colours, the cheeky fucks. Playing as the red tribe, it's Firestorm. He's actually switched the colour on me, the bastard. So the colour's going to be wrong for this game, and I'm going to be angry this entire time. So Firestorm is now red, and Blast is now yellow. God, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. So it's currently 2-1 to this player. Not the red colour, but Firestorm. No, it's 1-1. This is the third game. Oh my god, these games have been so long. I'm sorry. I'm just going to take a breath and I'm going to restart. It's all gone wrong. Okay, here we go. So, player colours are wrong for this game. The players joined the wrong spots, and I'm very annoyed at them. Bad players. Bad. But here we can see trees getting massacred, which is not the main point of Cess. Firestorm does not know how to play Cess, it seems. Our yellow player doing much better. Off-place the hut to not build on trees. Building the additional huts in the correct positions as well. Moving around. Harvesting the trees a little bit as well. Could do a little bit better at it. There's some 3 stacks there. Get on it. But, as we can see, the Cess build coming out. Red's gonna opt not to move the Fire Warrior huts. Building on another tree. Red, you gonna regret that, son. The score is 1-1. It's not 2-1. Oh, for goodness sake. So Yellow's strategy is going to be to annoy the player out of the game. Get 3 land bridges. Going to connect to the second base, building it, and just... gonna annoy the ever-loving heck out of our red player, who is Firestorm. I'm going to keep repeating that through the cast. It's just because the colours have switched, so I don't want people to forget who is who. Blast has secured himself a land bridge. Going to be moving on to connect himself to the second base. When he gets a moment, until then, he doesn't need to. He's just going to carry on praying, collecting even more land bridges while we wait for the red player to have a response. Yellow not charging any other spells. Red charged an earthquake, so not going to be connecting the flat anytime soon. Now, red could have the foresight to blast Braves over into this base so that red could start the building in it, because he knows that yellow's inevitably going to connect to here and have a second base. So even though it doesn't solve red's problem in terms of the fact that yellow's got 3 land bridges, yellow could start building in here so that he gets in. Yellow Shaman on the way to a second prey. And has charged another flatten, so his yellow's plan is purely to annoy red out of this game. You don't charge 2 flattens as your first spells on Cess unless your intention is to just piss the other person off. I can see the annoying / usefulness of the first flatten, but the second one means that when red tries to connect, he's just going to flatten him away again. So it's just all about annoying the other player. So here we go. There's the flatten onto the high ground. Good, getting a good amount of elevation there. Yellow Shaman going to get a Ghost Army push, and the follow-up blasts are reasonably good. The prey for the second one was interrupted, but the Red Shaman did actually die there, meaning the Yellow Shaman is going to secure a second land bridge at minimum. Annoying Braves being sent forth as red is shit out of wood, man. Built on so many trees because he wanted that perfect grid. Typically on sets, every base is a little bit unique, but you offset the huts ever so slightly. There's enough space within the tiles you can see here that you can offset the huts by 1 tile within the row and they will still fit nicely. So the fact that red has not offset his hut means he's built on too many trees. We saw him build on one here, we saw him build on one here. He's cut down a whole lot of wood. Red, of course, being Firestorm, won the Hollow Fields game, lost the Dead Sea game. 2 land bridges in the pocket of our yellow player now. 1 flattened, 1 lightning. Going to catch the Red Shaman just walking up the hill. Now, red did try to throw out a lightning of his own as well. Fire Warriors getting a cheeky volley off the Red Shaman was already dead. So, a little bit of dancing on the ground here, and you can really start to see why people don't like this map. It was added as it is a community favourite for some reason. A lot of the lower skill players know how this map works and how to operate on this map. The map can be very RNG dependent, and therefore even low ranked players can defeat a high ranked player with enough luck on their side. Nice shot from 3 Fire Warriors there, almost getting the kill on the Yellow Shaman there, but the pushes were not quite strong enough. Fire Warriors being sent forth at the Yellow Shaman. Yellow has finally stopped charging ridiculous spells to annoy red and has actually just charged the Earthquake. Now we have a little bit of a Shaman dance going on here. The Yellow Fire Warriors have been brought forward. They're going to be targeted onto the Red Shaman. Red needs to identify that that Fire Warrior is real. Additional Ghost coming in. Need the blast. Earthquake does come down. Flatten to save some of that ground. Actually only loses 1 hut. Fire Warrior hut is ignited, so that's going to slow down through production for 90 seconds. But actually, red can be pretty happy with that. Red can be pretty happy with that exchange. Remember, once again, those of you watching on YouTube or live in the stream, the colours are swapped. Our red player in this game was the yellow player in the first 2 games. They're not using the second base because they haven't yet connected to it. Prime. They're not using Blast. There you go, there's access to the second base, and that's a good way to give yourself access as well, because that makes it safe. You're not going to be able to troop through the front here if this is like this. Players saying you don't need to connect, but you do kind of need to connect, because even if you build out this base, this entire population is useless to you, and it becomes incredibly process intensive to manage all that population. You know, all your respawning pop ends up in this base, then you've got nothing in this base that you can actually use. Lightning coming out from our red player, but it doesn't quite find the kill. The follow-up blast is good, however, and the yellow shaman dies. Push is not quite good enough. Although this follow-up group also not quite good enough. Going to be pushing aggressively for our red shaman. Very easy to say something is easy when you're not in the game, Mr. Always in a puddle. So, a moment's silence, a moment respite. Our yellow player has respawned and is going to be pushing forwards towards the middle. A couple of fire warriors are going to be patrolling on this path. Calm before the storm. Red slowly completing a prey. We'll see what yellow does. Red has high ground. Probably has a lightning. Yeah, most certainly has some lightnings. We'll see what red opts to do. Yellow player, quick to build the tower, place the plans down, dismantle the tower so that the tower doesn't interfere with the maximum number of huts. Lightning coming out from our red player. Now red has a choice. Does red complete the land bridge prey for the second base, or does red push into all these fire warriors? If I was red, I wouldn't push into this. I'd try to get the second base, but hey, red's a smarter player than me, so it looks like red's going to be able to get all of those fire warriors, and there's no more on the way. Yellow just didn't have enough fire warriors, or they were grouped too much, that actually they're going to be able to get in. Yellow's also built this base much slower than red built her base, at the cost of some trees perhaps. And there's an earthquake going down onto the fire warrior training hut, and you can see a warrior training hut going up in the distance as well. Oh, that's stupid. That is absolutely stupid. RNG says, I like you, my good buddy Red. You're going to get a good earthquake. Oh, what a use of that Brave to stop the Yellow Shaman getting into the guard tower. The lightning does knock the Red Shaman into the water. Very annoying map this one is, because of this high... I don't know why this was made high ground. It should be level with everything else. It should be the same elevation as everything else. We're going to see 2 more earthquakes coming through for our red player. We're going to see what the damage is. Oh, they're going to be deep. Oh, tornado onto the warrior training hut. Are we going to see those earthquakes or not, man? Oh, those are not earthquakes. Those are... I was looking at the wrong page. That's the spells cast. Red only had a tornado. Takes out the warrior training hut, which could be good. I hate that when you're on this tab and you switch, it just stays on the same tab. I wanted to go to the first tab. Oh, I got tricked by my own spectator tool. Absolute rubbish. Hate it now. It's the worst thing ever made. Stupid tool. So, Yellow going to be launching a counter-attack onto our red player, blasting the ever-loving heck out of that population. Doing the dance, saying throw your lightning out. Double lightning, neither of them find the mark. Second lightning from Yellow, mistimed and not able to get the kill. Red wins the Shaman duel. Yellow going down on the high ground, going for a little bit of a swim. Clearly been watching Babbo play. Shaman magnetizing to the water. Space for a hut here, but no wood. Now, Red's base is almost completely upgraded, so soon the trees will stop getting massacred. Back over here, we can see that the Red Shaman did in fact get in. The lack of a Fire Warrior training hut is really hurting our Yellow player. Second Fire Warrior training hut being built in this base. I like the idea. You do have to remember this is very far away, and because this is not connected, it being far away means that any Fire Warriors that you want to click on a Shaman, say here. Oh, counter douchebaggery from our red player. I love it. Yellow started this flattened douchebaggery and gets a good kill with the counter douchebaggery. Red's going to be launching an attack onto the second base. Going to use a flatten to get in there. You're going to have to. Targeting down that Fire Warrior training hut. Getting a good little bit of damage in. Just going to throw the Earthquake in. Doesn't even need to flatten because the Fire Warrior training hut's on the front line. And RNGesus be praised. I'm pretty sure you can spell walk across that. You're not going to because this Fire Warrior will push you in the water, but you could. Red's now fully upgraded. The majority of the base, there's a hut here to be done. Yeah, the land bridge coming out for our Yellow player. Remember, he banked 2 of them, so we've just seen the second one. Yellow getting a bit of a bashing. Started the douchebag war. And has just lost one too many Shaman duels to be able to claim the victory. Now Red Shaman comes forward, throws forward a light. I'm not really sure how Yellow missed that one there. Felt a bit ridiculous that Red just sort of got pushed forward. Earthquake going down in the heart of the Yellow base. Gets a large hut. Fortunately, this Fire Warrior training hut stays standing. It was ignited, however. That means it's 90 seconds before it can be repaired. No second Fire Warrior training hut being built in this base again. Yellow's still in this. Population's very, very close because of Yellow's ability to have the second base. Pretty sure this can be a hut now. Double lightnings coming out from Shamans. Red goes down, Yellow secures a kill and manages to alleviate a little bit of pressure. So blast from Yellow, going to be clearing up these Fire Warriors. Even more are being clicked in. Going to be pushing, chasing down the Shaman. Even more Fire Warriors shooting at the Red Shaman. These Fire Warriors cannot actually walk across this. They have to be forced over it by spamming orders. The Cess Classic, the Earthquake in the middle, hoping it cuts off, and it does exactly what it needs to. Oh, Red Shaman once again being forced to charge flatten, but already actually has one available. And there you can see, there's the flatten, connecting red back up. Thin path here, has to be careful of lightnings. Does juke correctly and manages to get yellow shaman with the lightning. Don't know what you're talking about, stream chat. This map is fantastic. It's the best map ever. Brave's gonna group up. Gonna get blasted in a single blast by our red player. Even more Braves being sent at the shaman. Never give up. Never say die, but red is on the attack. This Fire Warrior training hut feels like it's only just been repaired. And it's been damaged. It's going to get damaged again. Earthquaking damaged ground achieves absolutely nothing. So I don't know why you do it. So we're going to be seeing what happens here. Red Braves being clicked onto the yellow shaman in the middle of the yellow base. Catches the yellow shaman standing still. Yellow manages to fire off a retaliatory light, which actually throws red forward into the water. These Fire Warriors, yeah, I think red's realised that they might be able to be spam ordered. No, just going to patrol them again. Red's running out of space to build. Patrolling the additional Braves, some additional Braves on a spot to keep the mana flowing. Good lightning onto a majority of those Fire Warriors, secure most of them as dead. Aggressive lighting from our yellow player could potentially be wasting all of his spells as he just throws them out wantonly. Yeah, that's 4 lights missed. And red just comes in with a clean single light, securing the kill. Now for the love of God, red, charge some bloody swarms. Gonna get pushed around, bullied by the Fire Warrior Brave combination. The Braves clean it up. We'll be seeing as our red shaman starts to push in. Finally gets in. Gets the respawn kill onto yellow as well, who misses the lightning, which means the earthquake's going to go down. Potential for a second earthquake here as well. It will go off. It's just a matter of where red casts it. Not smart use of the earthquake. Should be going for the population, really. I don't see an earthquake. See, I know that red's going to earthquake this, but I'd really prefer it if he earthquake this. This is 4 huts, man, if you get the right... What? Never mind. Never mind. That was so stupid. There are no words to describe what just happened there other than that was stupid. Red getting the good core kills on top of yellow's core and is now going to push in with Fire Warriors. Yellow has a warrior training hut on the way, but there's no wood over there to complete it. Population's 92 to 101. What are these earthquakes? These are sickening. 78 pop to 96. 78 pop out of 96 to 99 out of 103. These earthquakes are awful in like they're dirty kind of way. These earthquakes are like something I'd expect to come out of Addy's mouth. Like, they're just awful. But our red shaman has taken the time to bring some wood to the hill. Build a couple of towers to make this really oppressive. There's now a great 1.3, 1.5 debate. And the shaman goes down. Does get an earthquake off on the center, which is good. It flattens out the center, so there's a lot less high ground for all that annoying camping. A lot of the fire warriors died there as well, so that's also going yellow's way. Red hasn't even tried to take the second base yet. Whereas the second base is really all that yellow has at this point. See what happens here. The fact that red just isn't expanding or doing anything at all is a bit silly. So a couple of fire warriors with the yellow shaman going to push in. Red immediately heads for the little bit of high ground that's there. Red's drawn to this high ground like a magnet. That he's like, oh, I've left the high ground, got to get back on it. Turns around, tries to jump back on his little hill. Turn around, tries to jump back on his little hill. Red's been magnetized to the high ground in the first and third games. Fire Warrior's going to be pushing forward, trying to apply a little bit of pressure on the shaman. They do force out a swarm as the first warrior makes it to the front line. Now, have to remember that warriors are being trained all the way over here and they've got a long way to walk to get to the front line. But that doesn't matter as the red shaman gets hit with a lightning. She goes down. Looked like the path was a little bit bugged there. The yellow shaman doing some weird stuff, weird little pixel dance thing. And the yellow shaman's going to get bullied by a few braves before the fire warriors and warrior combination comes and helps out. Now, red does have to be careful. This mighty combination of troops from yellow is a threat. And because red refused to expand at any point, yellow's actually once again ahead in population, despite all the damage that yellow has taken. 114 out of 132 to 89 out of 103. As our yellow shaman comes forward with an annoying flatten, it's just going to be an absolute douche nozzle. This is indeed the stupidest way to play Cess. Red's going to flatten it out again. Lightning's traded. Yellow goes down. Red's still alive. That's the kill that red needed. If red had died there, could have spelled curtains for the red player. Red's only got this main base. And yellow's so busy playing weirdly. Swarms are coming down, going to be distracting the fire warriors and the warriors. Now, the addition of warriors into this troop mix does make fire warriors a lot less effective. Never mind. Combination of the warrior push and the fire warrior shot actually gets red killed. People saying that red might not know the rules and might think the second base is cheating. No, red actually PM'd me before the match started asking if the second base was allowed. So Firestorm is very much aware that the second base is allowed. Red's just opting not to go for it. So here is our red shaman. Firestorm going to be pushing forward. Swarms coming out from yellow, going to be distracting the troops. Iowa is patrolling back and forth. There's a great debate about whether map awareness is greater than skill, but map awareness is a skill. It's a skill you learn. So, it probably yellow's going to be the first one to make it over to this base, because red really can't be bothered to. Red's going to get starved of resources. Absolutely ridiculous that red playing this so passively. Red had what I would consider a very strong lead, but the reluctance to not just take the second base, but even just expand this base. You know, both shamans dying in the light, but this onslaught of warriors is going to make its way into the red base and apply additional pressure. Don't need to talk about that. Right. What I was saying is, you know, even this flatten here is free. You respawn, you flatten. So you can't even make the argument that the shaman didn't want to walk all the way over here to connect, even though it's really only that much. You know, it isn't even expanding the main base, which is the safe, protected area. It's just doing nothing. But these yellow warriors are going to be separated amongst the fire warriors, going to be killing population all over. Good amount of troops. Let this be a lesson to anyone who thinks you don't need warriors. You really do. Calling you out, Earthquake. You haven't trained a single warrior in this tournament. You'll train one before the tournament's over. Calling it out. So, populations 92 for red, 132 for yellow. So yellow's really starting to pull ahead with this now. This base is healing and can start to be built in again, as well as this base upgrading. There's the flatten from our yellow shaman, actually looking like she might want to go around the red player. I'm not sure I like this. It really depends what yellow does next. If yellow tries to connect to red to attack red, then yellow does this connection for red, and red can immediately start building in there. Brave tries to push the shaman. Whoa, red is finally connected. Red's like, oh, I can go to this base. This is just stupid. Both of these players are playing this in a way that I absolutely hate. Our first game of CES ever in this tournament was very, very interesting. This one, the second one was very, very short. This one has been very, very annoying. So, yellow is just swarming population into the second base now. I'm going to build this. I'm going to build all over this. You're not going to take it. I will. And now red is going to be punished for what I can only consider a real lack of awareness. Because how did red not have the time to take this base? Yellow's even cutting down all the trees just to make sure that if red does take it back, there's no wood to build. Red's cut down so many trees. Tornado coming out. Second tornado following up. Not, you know, not terribly effective. Just gonna strip this defense back. Look at what yellow's doing. Red's finally got a warrior training hut, guys. That hut space has been there the entire time. Lightning's coming out for both our shaman players. The red shaman missing every conceivable light in the sun. Both players running out of light, so switching to tornado. Both players in the water. It's a tie on the shaman duel, but look at this. Yellow shaman has won this game. I can say absolutely confidently that Yellow Shaman has won this game. Looked really bad for Yellow, but the quick taking of the second base, followed by a number of pretty poor decisions from our red player. Not building this warrior hut way earlier. Not ever going over here. Not even expanding the main, more defendable base. Just complete waste of the advantage that red managed to establish. And you can now just see the trees have been completely stripped down. So even if red clears this out, there's no wood to build here. This doesn't help red at all. Red is going to disconnect the path here so that the tower line protects it. But these warriors have to get in here and do something. But they're not. They're going to fight on the front line. Yellow's warriors threatening the main base of red as the Yellow Shaman advances forward. Lightning onto two of the towers, going to clear them up, and the fire warriors within. Red Shaman under a lot of pressure is getting into a fist fight with the warrior. Going to help. No. Change of mind. Yellow Shaman doing a dance. Red Shaman doing a mirroring dance. Both players predicting a... Well, both players spamming Swarm as my stream chat predicts a game crash. There's the Firestorm! We can see that our red player is falling behind on mana. Creates water instead of land. And earthquakes to disconnect that. But what are you doing, Yellow? Oh, yellow, red. See, their colours changed, and I'm just messing it up. What is red doing? This decision making is just not great. We see some great plays out of both of these players throughout their sets in the tournament, but this game's getting painful. Yeah, sure, I'll say their real names. This is Clarky versus Cahokia Warrior. It's not, for those of you who aren't watching the reaction in the stream chat. Oh, Addy, mate. You are funny. Sorry, I know I try not to read the stream chat for the purpose of the YouTube video that don't get to see the chat. Now, I don't want to annoy people who watch on YouTube. But this game, there is nothing happening. I'm reading the stream chat because there is nothing happening. Absolutely nothing. So, here comes our red player. Going to throw down a blast onto the warriors, and the earthquake's going to cut the side strip. Oh boy. Elongating that. Cess game. Here we go. Yellow's cut off. We got a long cess game coming, boys. I swear. I want yellow to just like backdoor. Just backdoor, man. I don't even care. Yellow's just going to stand in the back. Yeah, it's just not even going to connect. Backdoor. Backdoor. Come on. Backdoor. There's time in this game yet for a backdoor. I know it seems like it's far away and it's really hard, but I'm telling you, there's plenty of time for a backdoor in this game, Yellow. First flatten. Yellow's got it. Flatten from Yellow. Come on. Use the flatten. There it is. Beautiful. Watch out, Red. Yellow's coming for you. The Red Shaman's just going to continue dancing at the front. Not doing terrible. That ground did not look damaged to me. There you go. This is a waiting game that benefits Yellow, not Red. You know, the trees are only just growing back in this base, as well as the damaged ground. Red's not going to be able to make use of that base very well at all. And Yellow's just going to chill at the back. He's got another flatten available to him. People betting on the crash. I'm getting hungry because I didn't expect this series to be 2 hours across just 3 games. Seeing another flatten. Yellow's starting to push the issue as Red starts the prey. Well, stream chat saying, glad I'm spending my Friday evening watching Cess. Aren't we all, mate? Aren't we all? Red's at his maximum population right now. Yellow's still got room to grow. Oh, please don't start filling this in. I thought you were going for the back door. You were my hero 30 seconds ago. No! Go for the back door. You were my hero. Red Shaman is just going to get some land bridges. This is going to be a nice, long game going on here. I'm being asked to play the T-Rod compilation. If this wasn't a reasonably professional cast, I would have considered it. Hear the tumbleweeds. Red's building up warriors, like a lot of warriors. Probably going to wait for the... I don't know. I think Yellow's changed his mind and is going to challenge for Red. I probably agree with that. The amount of warriors collecting at the front here could be dangerous. Yellow turn around, challenge this, perhaps get a Firestorm off on all of this. Red with the land bridge, though. Could be big. I'm doing my best to make this sound exciting, guys. Lightning coming out onto the Yellow Shaman, missing. Not quite securing the kill. The Red Shaman dodges backwards. Just a little bit. Oh, I'm getting hungry. I want to order some food. Right. I'm going to position the camera here because I don't think any action's going to happen. And despite my professionalism, I'm going to order some food. There's been a flatten. Sorry, flatten. There's a connection. There's a tornado being cast. Something's happening. Oh, something's happening. Here we go. Don't worry, yellow's off here over here flattening as the red shaman starts to try to push into the base. Firestorm does come down from yellow. Yellow's had a half a year to charge all of these spells. Yellow does have a volcano in the chamber, only double earthquake for red. The excessive population of yellow. Oh, here we go. Here's yellow's window of opportunity. JK's going to go in the water. No, he's not. Oh, he survives the firestorm. If that was my shaman, I'd have drowned 6 times. The flatten has been used. Red's pop 109. Yellow's 161. As yellow starts to push forward. Warrior's going to be divided nicely among these towers, as well as getting into fights with the fire warriors that have been sent at the shaman. The red warriors have been pulled back to retreat, so they are reasonably safe, although the yellow shaman is starting to close on in. Could be potentially dangerous there. Oh boy, here we go. More flattens, more nonsense. This army. Warriors surrounding the shaman as a defensive shield, doing bugger all as this one warrior kicks the shit out of her. Fire warrior's going to be firing their volleys onto the red shaman. The red shaman goes down. How did you die with that many warriors? How did you die? Ah! I am sorry, guys, in the stream that my professionalism is going out the window, but I hope you can see the position that I am in. We're in 15 minutes of bloody cess. I thought this was going to be quick. I really thought this was going to be quick. So here we go. Yellow warriors looking to push in, cause potentially some devastating damage as the first of the red swarms does go down, sending the men running around everywhere. They scatter, they panic. But other than that, both shamans just staring off. All of these warriors going to be running in. I wouldn't do that. That seems like a bad idea. Oh, the yellow warriors have clicked onto the red shaman. So many of them. They're all going to die. Why would you do that? In what world was clicking 1,000,000 warriors onto a shaman a good idea? Absolute nonsense. But here we are. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I've watched almost an hour of Sessrum near Palace. Nubrum near Palace. Whatever. The onslaught of yellow warriors going in. Yellow's finally... Red warriors going into yellow's base. And while yellow finally completes the back door. I'm so just not casting this correctly. Warriors have been separated nicely, but look at all these fire warriors in huts going to be looking to threaten. Yellow's abandoned the back door to defend the base from the red shaman. And the warriors. The tornado! Red's own tornado picks her up and throws her in the water. Yellow goes for a lightning just to finish her off. So impatient from Red. The back door's so close. Where are you going, Yellow? Just do the back door, dude. Just do the back door, dude. Just do the back door, dude. Don't make this a long game. Don't make this a long game. Please don't make this a long game. Longer game. Lightning comes down from Red onto the Yellow Shaman. Yellow didn't use the back door, which means that all these warriors just have to turn around again. Red has still not expanded his base. Yellow still threatening a backdoor as Red once again tries to push for the middle. Warriors getting cleaned up a little bit. Fire warriors firing there, getting a little bit of cheeky damage in. Firestorm does come down from our red shaman, does catch the yellow shaman as well, so she's gonna start running around like she's a dumbass. And of course, she's gonna run into the water, which immediately means the firestorm pushes her in and she dies. That's how this map likes to work. We're gonna see our red shaman on the opposite side. Gonna throw down an earthquake. I've managed to order my food in the time that it has taken Red to get an attack in. We have seen some damage onto our yellow player. Red at 109 of 113. Yellow at 113 of 155. Once again, yellow does not want the back door. Yellow does not fancy the back door. 3 flattens, that's easy, right? 1, and if you get bad, 2, 3, connected. Am I wrong? Yeah, I thought that was 3 flattens. Stream just confirming that that is in fact 3 flattens. Thank you, stream. So I'm not just being mean there. That is in fact 3 flattens to finish. But no, instead yellow's going to flatten over here. Why? I swear to God, if yellow volcanoes here, if yellow volcanoes this to wind me up. Right, the red shaman finally goes down. We're going to be seeing a big push from the yellow shaman. As all of these yellow warriors start to swarm in. And the red shaman's actually not alive and in position to defend them. So hopefully we'll see a lot of population getting killed as the red warriors do battle with the yellow population. The yellow shaman. Oh, I'm getting the colours mixed up and it's annoying the heck out of me. Yellow! Just everyone in the stream chat saying I should disqualify yellow for that. Oh, if that is an abuse of power, mates, I don't know what is, but that is just That's so ridiculous. Oh. Yellow is at the back door, but yellow's still not completing it. Starting to build some everyone's saying he failed with the... Oh, he has, yeah. Flatten failed here. Made water. Failed to flatten. Back door's further away. Red Shaman's into yellow base. Once again. Yellow's got a volcano. Why is yellow not just, like, ignoring this? And just carrying on, man. Yellow Shaman going down. The Red Shaman doing a little bit of a... she's going to get pushed into the water if she's not careful. What's our Red Shaman doing? What's our Red Shaman charging? Got another light. Gonna fight the Shaman in a duel, perhaps? Just gonna stare at her. Whoa, that was a Mexican standoff if ever I've seen one. Both Shamans shout draw. And we're gonna be seeing lightnings coming out. Flatten to reduce some of the water. Tomato Paste says, I don't see any strategy in this. You're probably right. As the Red Shaman gets another kill and is somehow continuing this attack. Yellow's pop slowly whittling away as Red Warriors march on into the base. Going to be doing a bit of damage now, and once again Yellow's in a position where Yellow's taking all the damage, even though Red really should be dead. Warriors going to get into a brawl. Yellow and Red Warriors with the aid of Yellow Fire Warriors. That should be a win for the Yellow Warriors, but Yellow's not paying attention to the Shaman. Not paying attention to the Shaman you can do sometimes, but you really need to pay attention right now because Red is still in your base, pinning you down. Red finally out of the base, pushed into the water, so we'll get a nice quick respawn timer. Firestorm pauses. This Fire Warrior training hut is not training Fire Warriors, apparently. So dismantle it. We deal with bugs all the time. Everyone's saying, stream chat saying even the Red Fire Warrior hut is tired. Yellow Shaman's alive. She looks like she's threatening the back door. Yeah, Ghost Shaman's being spread out. This is probably most obviously the real one though. Here we go, Yellow. Gonna be dancing at the back door like he's a fake. Red Shaman's hiding in a hut and probably knows that that's the real one. So, both of our players going to be doing a very careful dance here. Around the back door. Not gonna lie. If I was a player in this series, I'd probably have surrendered this by now, just because I probably don't have all night. Red is finally building up the second base. This game far too long. I thought Sess was going to give us a quick game. I thought we were going to see some nonsense. Red absolutely knows that this is the real Shaman. Whoa, Yellow, you are one lucky motherfucker. Pardon my French, but Yellow, you are so lucky, man. So lucky. Now we're going to be taking notes how not to fall in the water there. Lambridge from Red actually going to connect the back door. We actually have a fight at the back door. It's finally happening. Stuff finally happening. Here we go. Brave's going to be sent at the Red Shaman. What is the Red Shaman going to do? Red Shaman's going to blast them and Yellow's going to miss the lightning. It was almost very well timed. Lightnings get... Whoa! Red's still alive! Yellow actually dying at the back door means that Red is going to push in. Red has 2 earthquakes, but no more devastating spells than that as Yellow starts to flee the population out of there. Earthquake going down. Not as great as the early games at Earthquakes were for our Red player. But let's have a little look. It's going to get to a point where I'm going to have to AFK mid-cast to pick up food. Because this game's going to go on longer than the delivery time. Oh, Red gets baited by the fake Shaman. Real Yellow Shaman where? This flatten versus convert game. Hold my beers. So, let's get back to the positives. This has been a very tenacious game. Yellow should have lost. And credit to Yellow. You know, Yellow should have lost and pulled the game back using the second base and just a lot of tenacity. But then Yellow should have won. So it looks like Yellow's making a play. Yellow's going to be coming in with all these warriors and it's just going to volcano the main base. Red identifies the threat from the Yellow Shaman. Needs to be careful because all of this pop is walking directly at her. Is going to flood out of the base. Tail end of the Red population going to get caught by the Firestorm as we're going to see Yellow move into here for a nice well-placed volcano. There you go, nice volcano in the middle of the Red base as the Yellow warriors engage the trail ends of the Red population. Red pop's now in Yellow base, going to be doing a lot of damage, being a little bit annoying. So Red has something that Red can do here. Red's run enough fire warriors. Nope, never mind, they're all dying to the huts. As are the Braves. I was going to say Red's run enough fire warriors to set up a core camp, but most of them have just died all over the place, so never mind. Red's going to lose all of his population. The game is going to go to Yellow. Pop TB Blast. It's going to go 2-1. Game finally ending. What I was going to say is if Red had saved off enough fire warriors, set up a core camp, kill the Shaman once, and then just slowly whittle away at the Yellow base while Yellow doesn't have a Shaman. Red gonna do his best to finish off this match? Oh, this game's much closer than I thought. 29 to 32 population, but the problem is, a lot of this 29 population for yellow is in warriors. So, even if red does something miraculous, what on earth? What on earth am I watching? This is so stupid. Why are the populations this freaking close? So confused. Yellow kills the red shaman. Red throws down an earthquake. Yellow stands on a bit of damaged ground to guarantee safety. We're going to see GG now. Yellow is going to defeat red. It's close. The pop count's 19 to 27. It came much closer than it should have. I was going to say, these players saw Flatten versus Convert and was like, hold our beer. But I don't think the players are entirely to blame. This is CES. Admittedly, the players could have made better decisions, but this is CES. CES is awful. CES does this to people. Blast's going to be good, clearing up the final bits of the Braves. Why is Red not just surrendering? GG. Thank you. Thank you, Red. Finally surrenders. Games go 2-1 to Blast. We've got a fourth game coming up. What is up, everyone? It's Lovenji, and we are here, and I've got energy. This hasn't been a 3-hour stream at all. We are playing Populous at the beginning. This is the Invisible Cup. This is the fourth game of the third quarter final. Players are back in their correct colours. What does that mean? Well, Firestorm is now once again yellow in the yellow base. Opponent playing as a red tribe, red base. Blast. So, this is our fourth game in this best of 5. Blast is currently ahead, score 2-1, favouring Blast, our red player. So we want to see if he is able to close out this series, or if Firestorm is able to take it to a final game, which will be on face-off. Wondering why the clown party emoji is in the top right corner. It's because I'm a sellout and I do what my stream tell me to. We've watched, and even you guys on YouTube will have watched, an incredibly long game of CES. My stream chat really wanted this emoji to be part of the next game. So there you go. Stream chat are all saying, I could see us in the top right. Very entertaining. So this is Bifrost. Bifrost is a very interesting map. And by very interesting, I mean it's a bit like Craters, but not really. This Stonehead gives Firestorm. It also casts a neutral Firestorm on itself every time the prey completes. It gives 3. And this Stonehead gives Earthquake. And of course, when you pray to it, casts Earthquake on itself. We've seen 2 variations of this game. We've seen early rushing, early fighting, and we've seen let's sit back and expand for half a year. Be interesting to see what our players go for. Let's go to the populations. 33 out of 23, 29 out of 32. Red a little bit ahead on actual population, but yellow a little bit ahead in actual building. So we're going to be seeing what happens. yellow shamans just idling by. No doubt poised to cast this land bridge to fill in water, I strongly expect. Yeah, look at this positioning. That's going to be a land bridge across there. Of course you are. Why would you go for the stoneheads when you can make land? So, stream chat been making fun a little bit of the fact that these players are incredibly tenacious and neither one has wanted to end the game quickly. Neither player wants to end a game quickly, and kudos to them, you know, the energy to play these incredibly long games. It is a skill. Might not be the most entertaining of games to watch, but it is a skill to be able to play Populous for this long. Maintain focus that entire time as well. So I paused there. The red player's making a preacher hut. Of course, the temple is turned on for this map. This does change the dynamics slightly. It's very difficult to troop your opponent out of the game with warriors if they have the ye old holy men with books. If you didn't know, ye old holy men with books is stronger than guy with sword. See the yellow player land bridging up to this hill, going to build a tower. I've seen this tower before. I think Bloodlust used it against Balloon. Didn't actually come to anything as a result. And already... Bit blown away by what happened here. But our red shaman likes it. Stylistic choice, maybe. Oh, she almost went for a walk. So stupid. Both players going to contest opposite Stoneheads. Earthquake versus Firestorm. I know which one I'd rather have. Got the prey from the red shaman, but that's a 6-man prey. You're going to need more than just your shaman there, my friend. As our yellow shaman moves towards the earthquake. Stonehead. Here come the Braves, going to be getting that juicy Firestorm. It's a very quick prey as well for a Firestorm. Don't normally see devastating spells like that come in so quickly. Warrior training hut out for yellow. Don't know if yellow's seen the temple yet. There certainly haven't been any... Oh, there are preachers trained. It's a holy man with a book, hiding. Yellow continues to land bridge. Get bigger and bigger. God. Bit of a mess going on here. Oh. Yellow likes his hills. He's land bridging up to a hill, perhaps weirdly. Yellow's setting this up for a shaman duel later on. It's like, I like high ground, so I'm gonna run up here at some point. I'm sure it will be useful. Preacher's coming in, but I don't think our red shaman's read the memo. Get it? Because he's red. That's all gonna get firestormed. Which could annoy him. It is a neutral firestorm, so the actual blasts themselves won't deal damage, but they are all going to get knocked into the water. Shaman retreats. Taking a preacher with her. She doesn't retreat far enough. There's the Firestorm. Free Firestorm. And there goes all the pot, including most of the preachers. Yellow on the other side has spotted the temple, built one of his own. I shudder to say it, but we might see a long game here. Both players teching pretty much identically to one another, although red has got no warriors at all. Can't convert warriors with priests if I don't have any, says the red shaman. Here comes the earthquake. We'll see if the earthquake has the same hilarious effect as the firestorm did. As a Lambridge comes out to challenge it. The Braves are running. They're running. Oh, they get out just in time. What was that earthquake, man? What was that, man? Let me in, man. Ah, Red's not going to really let yellow in through that door. So we're going to have to go over here. Most of our action should be over here as well as at the back of the bases. So our yellow shaman moves over, as do the preachers and the fire warriors, as red makes a push with his newly obtained spell. Populations though, look at this. Red sitting at a pathetic 47 out of 58. While yellow at 83 of 102. Red wasting the firestorm there, doesn't even get the shaman. So here we are. It looks like yellow's going to launch a counterattack. These Braves are annoying. They are being patrolled to interrupt the shaman's push. Could have done with bringing a couple of troops, really. In fact, there are some preachers on the way. Let me see our yellow shaman go in. Lambridge comes out. Again, second time we've seen red do that in this set is throw out a save me Lambridge. We're going to see an earthquake on the temple. Ooh, fire warriors in huts, gotta be careful. And the shaman sinks. Lovenji, is that you? Second firestorm going the way of red as well. The preachers start to patrol. Lambridges from red going to fill in more of this water so that red has the opportunity to build. Red definitely behind on population, 50 out of 69. Yellow's at 100 out of 115. Yellow going to be expanding as well. Hopefully we're going to see some more aggression that actually might spell an end to this game and the players don't just sit back in Lambridge and play SimCity, because that would be sad. Red has this pretty well fortified, but Red's been throwing away a lot of population getting these free firestorms. Pretty sure he's lost 12 Braves to this. He's going to lose another 6 as well. We'll get the firestorm, so 3 firestorms. If he hadn't wasted one, it could potentially have been enough to win the game. We know that free earthquakes are the name of the game for this stonehead, so Yellow Shaman could... Yellow Shaman could secure that and charge something else instead of a second earthquake. But she is in fact charging earthquake, because why not? Going to be pushing forward after killing the red shaman with a well-placed lightning there. bringing fire warriors and preachers along for the ride, and even sending advanced braves forward to intercept anything that red might send to stop her. My stream chat have gone mental. They're timing each other out. They're doing something. Yellow Braves having a little bit of a fist fight with some other Braves. Yellow going to flatten down that hill, sort of. I think Yellow wanted to make some Shaman dueling height. But I think misplaced the cursor slightly, and so just really flattened down the hill, sort of. 2 lightnings for Yellow Mist, 1 for Red Mist. Going to be seeing what Red does next as Red uses the land bridge to make even more land. Braves and Fire Warriors going to be pressing on the Shaman as a lightning connects. The Red Shaman going down. This will probably be a very quick GG out of our Yellow Shaman. 69 population to 1, 2, 3. Red has access to a free Firestorm and will probably get access to a second free Firestorm. But what good is that going to do when the Yellow Shaman's in the heart of your base and is going to throw down a double Earthquake? There's 1. There's 2. Stupid amount of damage with those Earthquakes. Good luck from our Yellow player. Red down to a total max pop of 41 with 48 pop on the field. Oh, and my food has arrived. So I'm just going to position like this, and we're going to see what happens as Red counterattacks. JK, I'm gonna rest it on the mouse so that it scrolls away. From the spell notifications, it looks like I've missed 2 land bridges as Red is fixing land. We've got Yellow connecting over to the other island where the Stonehead used to be. He's going to Earthquake it down just to thin it out. I don't hate that idea as it's a second trooping path, or it would have been if not for the way this cut. Creatures prey pacing on the spot, going to get hit by a beautiful red lightning here if they are not careful. Spread them out. Press D. Press D. Press D. No! It's a massacre of holy men. Oh, awful. So, our game has slowed right down. We are sat here. I'm surprised that Yellow has allowed this to slow down, because Red has gone from 49 max pop to 111 and is just going to catch back up. Yellow's not pressing any of the advantage that he just established in his earlier attacks. Yellow should also know from the earlier revealed Firestorm that Red is sitting on a repository of 2 Firestorms, so has plenty of opportunity to launch a counterattack. Braves being sent as our Yellow Shaman connects to the island. Gotta watch that Preacher in a tower. And she does. Large amount of Preachers on the second path. Hear those evil holy words. Using Preachers to push, I like it. It stops annoying Braves and Fire Warriors in their track. Gonna force them to change sides. But the Fire Warriors are going to continue pushing on the Shaman now that one of the preachers is dead. Meanwhile, our Yellow Shaman has gotten preachers into Red's base. It looks like the Yellow Shaman herself has... No, she's not dead. I don't know where she is. She's over here. I don't know why she's over here. Maybe she did die. Red Shaman on low health. The preachers just doing their best to finish up their preaching here. As warriors and preachers alike going to push into the red base. Red didn't opt for warriors making a play. You know, you can't convert my warriors if I don't have any. But that means he's got no effective units to fight these warriors, because a combination of warriors and preachers means that these warriors are not going to get preached. Those of you that have only watched competitive multiplayer Populous and have never seen a preacher before, preacher is a unit that forces units to stop and listen to their rhetoric as they talk nonsense about how great their shaman is. And after a random amount of time, the unit switches sides and goes, yes, this shaman is better. I doth agree. But here's our yellow shaman. While I explained what the preacher does, our yellow shaman's once again made it into the middle of the red base. There goes a firestorm from our yellow shaman. Lightning as well. One earthquake. See another earthquake. Double earthquake as well. But the red shaman's going to get into the yellow base. And red, no doubt, has spells of his own. Double firestorm and an earthquake. So we're seeing both bases probably taking a little bit of a pounding here. Gonna have to be going over and seeing what happens. Oh, big convert on this priesty boy. The yellow shaman might want to kill herself so that she can get back to base to try to stop some of this happening. Or do this, yes. Yellow running the population out the base. Can't convert it with preachers if I just leave. The red shaman was just appreciating the view atop the hill. Thinking, what are all the steps that led me to this point? Oh, there's an earthquake from red. Onto the warrior training hut. Oh, not all the population was pulled. So much population getting picked up by the preachers here. I don't know why yellow didn't pull all the population. Yellow did and then put it back. Oh no, there's some of the population. What is yellow doing? Yellow's done critical damage to the red base, though. Red has nothing back here, except for a couple of fire warriors. Warriors can finish this base off. Now all yellow has to do is turn around and win the shaman duel. If yellow wins this shaman duel, or even just kills it with fire warriors, as she's going to. Yeah, that's fire warriors going to kill the shaman, because I don't know what red was doing. It sure wasn't casting blast. How does green have a max population of 5? No idea. Green's not in this game. Population being utilized to kill buildings. This pesky fire warrior going to be dealt with as well. We got red chaos all over this base as red braves, red preachers. Red preachers got so much of yellow's population that's actually quite annoying and quite a devastating attack. Yellow still with quite a hefty lead in the population though. Has to be careful because this population is in the middle of red's base. And yeah, red just respawns and firestorms it. So, as we can see, yellow lost all the pop to a red firestorm here. And we're down into a low population where preachers are still working away. Look at these. These preachers are just getting value. They're so annoying. Red's down to 2 preachers. Down to 1. Don't ignore him. Don't ignore him, he's overpowered. It's not. Preacher's not overpowered. But good population swing. Nice blast onto the Preacher, but the Preacher's still alive. Remember, a Preacher can take a direct blast and survive. Babo says converting 200 warriors isn't OP at all. Well, I'd say you're an idiot if you trained 200 warriors and sent them at a Preacher. It's not the unit's fault, that's your fault for being dumb. So the Fire Warriors are going to start cleaning up what remains of Red in the base, and the Red Shaman does go down. Both players on exceptionally low pop. Lightning onto one of the large huts as the Yellow Shaman's going to push in. Double Earthquake going to come out, or just the one, I don't know. Yellow's going to stand on the damaged ground so that she doesn't sink. Just to be especially safe. Throwing down an Earthquake on the troop training huts, not wanting Red to re-establish trooping. As I strongly suspect this is GG in Yellow's favour. Whether our Red player surrenders or not, or wants to go to the game 5, is entirely up to him. So, Yellow base is huge. Lots to do. Lots to build. As I reach for my food. And I don't see Red being able to make a dent in it. Actual populations, 13 to 46. So Yellow's got about as much max actual pop as Red does max pop. Shaman's trade in the cause. Everyone redeeming their points to timeout Prime again. I don't know why everyone's bullying Prime. Poor Prime. Oh, Yellow Shaman's dead, but is already starting troop production. Now, there are temples here, so you have to be careful. Can't overcommit. But for what were 2 Firestorms from our Red... Oh, no, Red still has one of the Firestorms. So Red actually didn't use the second Firestorm in Yellow's base when he had the opportunity to. Ghosts on the side here, just getting cleaned up. As Real Braves tear down that cheeky red tower that was in Yellow's base. We're getting a little bit of an atmospheric reset. Of course, heavily favours our Yellow player, who is leagues ahead. And in fact, if I was Yellow, I'd just open a back door. This is 4 land bridges. We know it's 4 land bridges. Just go. Here we are, the Red Shaman's going to push forward. Both Shamans trading, lightnings, blasts go down. Perfect blast trait, leaves the Yellow Shaman on the perfect tile before the water. Our Yellow Shaman player has no holy site of holiness. Actually building a frontline temple, but the preachers are marching in on it. This could be a huge problem for our Yellow player. Without a sub bot for a temple, and the Shaman out of position. Red Warrior's going to grow themselves. Red Preachers even. Prime Pop TB. Prime has made a second account because he keeps getting timed out. Prime keeps getting timed out, so he's made a second account as our red shaman lights. So red shaman lights the yellow shaman and gets her out of the base. This is so huge though. Red, quick to rush back up to preachers. Yellow did not have the space for temple. Built one on the front lines but couldn't quite get it up in time. Haha, that's what she said. Prime getting timed out as the preachers try to advance on the fire warriors. You've got fire warriors being microed relatively well. They're kiting the preachers back, which is an important skill. Our yellow shaman is alive. She has respawned. She's back. A little bit of pressure coming down onto the red shaman. Red doesn't have much mana. Push combined with the fire warrior shots, a little bit obnoxious there. Red almost going down. Lightnings connect for both shamans. Big deal, because that means these priests can continue to do their holy work. Fire warriors have to be put in huts now. It's the only way to guarantee that you're going to stop a preacher push. There has to be fire warriors in huts. You've got some healed ground. Slap a temple down. Yeah, that does look like a temple. It's slightly longer than a hut, so the temple's gone down. £10. If I get 10 points every 5 minutes, that means I would need to watch 50 minutes of Lovenji's stream to time out Prime. That's correct, which means the length of this stream, you have earned enough points to time out Prime 3 times. Red Shaman. Going to be advancing as the Yellow Braves sit down to listen to a really cool story. Yellow gets the defense up. The preachers will be able to be stopped on one side. Then Yellow can start to look to push down to other. Red preachers making a slow crawl forward. So Red Shaman is in a tower. Gets Yellow into the water. Red's activating maximum camp now. Red's is playing this game out because if Red wins this, Red advances to the semi-finals. Yellow, on the other hand, has to play this out because Yellow loses and is eliminated if they don't win this. There's not very much happening for us, but you've got to remember, for the players, this means a lot. The third place is worth $150. The second place worth $250. This means a lot to our players. Counter Preacher Push coming out for our Yellow Shaman player who has finally established a temple. Remembered how to read books to our players. Yeah, Cooper, you can post whatever you want, mate. You won't get banned in my chat. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't show up on YouTube, so it's fine. So yeah, Yellow's going to go for a free earthquake, because why not at this point? I've actually, fortunately, NVIDIA Broadcast is great. And it's timing out a lot of this. Nice, Dave. Nice. Lightning comes out for our yellow player, but the land bridge is cast. Remember, you have a window of opportunity when you hit the water to cast a spell to potentially save yourself. Which is what the yellow shaman did there, but it doesn't matter if you keep walking into range of red within a tower. Eventually, enough lightnings will fall and you will go down. Oh boy! Did everyone see that? Look at the Keith 52 timer on red. 143 seconds in a tower. A 143 seconds spent inside a tower. That's so much towering. That's more towering than the real Keith 52 would do. Big group of troops are gathered on one side to stop troops pushing in as the red shaman is launching an assault. Fire Warrior's being clicked onto the shaman as well as rays being sent towards her. The Firestorm does go down. Gonna send everything into a frenzied panic. The other shaman is stood wisely out of range. Inca Warrior asks, isn't Firestorm her only spell? And yes, you're correct. That Firestorm was everything she had, except for a lightning to kill the shaman. What? Red rolled, was fine, cast a lightning, slipped into the water. Slippery water next to that, mate. Gotta be careful. My god, how have they managed to make this map last forever? I thought yellow was going to win a quick, decisive victory, and here we are. So red has more or less recovered. Red is at 91 maximum population. Yellow at 113. So, once again, this game is actually even. As a cheeky priesty boy comes over and tells a story. It's a pretty cool story too, as two braves go to listen to it. We've got a back door coming out from our yellow player. Going to be opening up yet another trooping path because red likes his towers. Red trying to get into a hut. The lightning does not quite find him. Two lightnings down. Both missed. Firestorm coming out from yellow, and that secures the kill onto the red shaman. Yellow needs to take out these temples because it's these temples that have been keeping red in the game. Bit of a messy game, this one. Very scrappy. Well played by both players. The call to go for the base trade, and then the call to recover. Big moments of inaction, but smart play in between. Now, our red shaman is alive. She doesn't have any spells, where she's got 3 tornadoes, to be fair. She could hunt down temples, which is what I suspect she's actually going to do, as a swarm of preachers come in with her. There's no shout casting that. Red got pushed into water. Yellow runs the population again as the preachers make their way in, making sure there's no population in here to be preached to. Lightning's come out for both players. Yellow shaman does go down as the red shaman is victorious in the shaman duel. 2 lights to 1. Priest getting into red's base now. Red throwing away a lot of the preachers means that these preachers are actually going to be able to attack. But there is a second temple, so although red has lost control of this temple, you need to get over here and on top of this if you want to deny preacher production. The red shaman, however, is so busy attacking that I don't think she's realised. Oh no, she is controlling a couple of the warriors. We see her doing a blast trick into the sentry. Another little blast trick there to prevent the hill roll as she's getting bullied by 2 fire warriors. Yellow shaman's going to respawn as the 3rd tornado goes down. Yellow throws down the lightning before getting picked up in the tornado. Yellow is alive. Red has gone down. Huge preacher run by. Yellow's population was run from the base into this, and red managed to steal it with preachers. Yellow had run his pop here, and red stole it. So yellow is still at 90 population, even though he's got 58 green bar. Fantastic strategic move by red. I was worried red wasn't paying attention, and red got an amazing steal there. Absolutely amazing. Yellow shaman's going to wander around the base and look for something to do, but look, these preachers, they're pushing in. They're getting further in. They're taking even more population. Excellent use of the preacher unit in this game to keep red in it, sitting at an impressive 90 population. Needs more fire warriors in huts if you want to stop these holy men wielding books from getting into your base. I mean, Ice, Keith's kind of correct. Babbo keeps complaining that they can convert 200 warriors, which does indicate that Babbo knows nothing about how the preacher unit works. Fantastic use of the preacher unit, applying a lot of pressure to our yellow player. Now the populations are 73 to 80. Yellow shaman does go down. That was the red shaman. The yellow shaman is able to kill the red shaman. This brave, this brave. Oh, does he get it? Does he get it? Does he get it? Does he get it? Nah! Just about fails to complete the kill on the temple. Neither player working with the temple right now, so whatever preachers you see are what you get. That is 3 preachers for red, 0 for yellow. Yellow's not working on any preachers right now. Not able to. Throwing down an earthquake. Gonna get a couple of large huts. Lightning's traded from both players. Both shamans going down. Now the priests are alive for red. It could be utilized to some effect. Players who play a lot of multiplayer don't realize that fire warriors in huts can't be preached to. So, lightning coming down from our yellow player. Jimmy Hunter corrected me, and he is correct. It depends on the hut model. Fire warriors do secure the kill onto the red shaman. Probably going to be GG for red here, and we'll go to a 5th game. Heavens forbid. In this incredibly long series. I heard Tox fix 1.1. Says nice puddle. I don't know who that is. That's probably Prime. Yeah, we're going up. We're coming up to 4 hours for a best of 5. This is ridiculous, guys. Be considerate. I've got to upload this. I've got to render this. I've got to accept that I'm not going to be able to use my PC for an entire day to render this video. Yeah, export to YouTube's very easy if you don't care about stream quality. I know, so now my stream's turning on me. Look, I'm aware I said these would be quick games. Absolutely aware they're not. Red's built a temple over here and has trained exactly one priest, so these warriors are like, nope, we'll turn around. But he has to be careful, because this priest he's seeing some potential listeners. I've got a story to tell, says this preacher, and he's going for it. Yellow warrior's running away for their life. Is the yellow shaman alive? Where is she? What is she doing? She's over here. She's going to deal with preachers. Yellow builds another temple, as red refuses to give up. Red player defending the base relentlessly. In fact, despite the warriors running around everywhere, he will not give up. He will not surrender. Our yellow shaman, on the other hand, has cleared up preachers and gotten warriors into the temple. So that should spell the end of that temple at the very least. Stuck slowly ascending up a hill. Damages 3 large huts, that's not bad. Ah, there's a preacher! Ah, there's a preacher. Yellow sent in an army of warriors, but there was that preacher. So our yellow shaman is now going to dance around to the other side of the base. Lightning's traded by both shamans, neither shaman going down. In fact, actually the follow-up lights change that as the yellow shaman does die to red. I gotta say, guys, I love you all in the stream chat right now. You guys have been getting me through this. Pop TV Babbo has timed out Babbo Pop TV for 600 seconds. You guys are getting me through this, so thank you. There we go. That should spell GG now. Yellow's going to get in. Yellow's got 116 pop, double earthquake. Red's got bugger all. Trying to build 2 temples. Just take the temples out. Take the temples out. And Yellow's just like, Red's just like, I'm going to run a preacher away. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to run a preacher into nothing. Tornado coming out onto the other temple. Both temples of red do go down. Yellow preachers in the base. Yellow warriors in the base. Yellow's just hunting down that last priest. He's like, look, I'm not letting you come back with priests for the 3rd time this game. Use a lightning. It will be worth it. Use a lightning. Don't worry. Don't be greedy. Just lightning him. Guarantee he dies. No, yellow's going to get there anyway. Blast. There goes red's last preacher. Finally going to see an end to this game. We'll be going on to face-off for our final game of this tournament. Blast goes down to Fire Warrior. So we've gone to 5 games in our 2nd best of 5. Red really wants to build another temple. Gonna do his best to try to sneak that one out. Yeah, I got a free earthquake. Woohoo! GG, says our red shaman. Score is 2-2. Another 49-minute game as this series just doesn't want to end. Here we are, guys. What is up, everyone? I am Lovenji Gaming, and I am here about 4 hours into this stream. It's been a long best of 5 series between these two players. We're going to get pulled out to the sea as we get eliminated. Playing as the red tribe in what is apparently the yellow base. It is Pop TB Blast. Playing as the yellow tribe in whatever base, I don't know. I don't know. Is this green? What might be the green base, but might not be. It is Pop TB Firestorm. So we're gonna see shamans kneeling side by side in a show of camaraderie. It's just an absolute mess for players to get control of the middle. You're going to be seeing converts coming out as well as blasts. It looks like first shaman to charge 2 blasts. The bluff has been called. Blast going to be used on Braves instead of the shaman. And the yellow shaman's going to run away because she's seeing stars. Population's at the moment 15 to 13. So, looks like we're going to see a little bit more of standard face-off play. Both players building towers on the high ground, going to be sending fire warriors to them relatively soon. Red gets caught walking up a hill, pushed off the hill by yellow. Follow-up blast does connect to the shaman, but doesn't get the water bounce that he wanted. Red once again trying to secure the hill. Blast coming out. Second blast does come out for red as well. Good kills. Good blast equaling a good kill for our yellow shaman onto the red shaman. Population's 20 to 17 or 19 to 17. So it really is going to come down to what happens next for a change, instead of being pre-decided. My camera's going to scroll over to the gargoyle that no one ever prays at. Good to see. So the defenses of red are going to be torn down. Yellow's got his own towers and he's started to fill them as well. So at this point, we will expect one of two things from red. We'll expect mass lightnings, or we'll expect warrior training hut and a side door. Red spell's not giving us any indication of which he prefers at this particular moment in time, as he's charged bugger all. So, Face Off is a map that is about center control. Both the 1v1 and 2v2 variants of the map center around this hill. The hill itself is a volcano that, when prayed to, erupts in a volcano in true The Beginning style. Each base has a unique way you build it as well to maximize the amount of huts that you can get out of it. So we'll see how both players build their base, neither opting for a warrior training hut yet. But it is very important as you build out this base that you do make time for one. Warrior training huts are very, very important for this map, especially because one of the common answers to not securing the middle is that you side door. It's generally believed, although the community is, again, as it often is, divided, he who controls the middle wins. Other members that like Face Off tend to say it's not only about the middle, you have options. I personally don't think you do. I think if you win the middle and you're a smart player, you just win. But I'm not a smart player, so I could also be wrong about that. So we'll see what our red shaman opts to do here. These towers onto the hills are relatively decent. I'm going to provide a generic amount of cover, but this isn't exactly one-shot camp pushing here with shaman territory right now. The red shaman's going to push forward. The yellow shaman is immediately noticing, look at the size of the height of that hill. And this is what I mean about being a good player. Why did the red shaman take that fight? Make yellow miss... Or why did yellow take that fight? Make the red shaman miss the light, then take the fight. But no. No way red would charge a light, says yellow, and goes in for a blast. But of course red's going to charge a light. It's Face Off. But the shaman's going to be able to blast and take out the majority of the braves that are on this high ground. There's actually a brave in a guard tower over here, going to be a bit annoying to the shaman. And our yellow shaman is alive and well. She charged... what does she charge? Double earthquake she's got in the chamber. So perhaps even she just goes for the side door. Now that red has won the hill, perhaps that's a bait. Red will start investing resources into the hill, and yellow just goes for a side door. Red's charging lightning, so yellow knows that red doesn't have an earthquake. And just like that, you see one land bridge for yellow. So, the yellow shaman's going to move towards the side. The red shaman's going to be forced to back off to answer it. Yellow shaman's second land bridge will be complete anytime soon, I strongly suspect. Yellow shaman's certainly posturing like a land bridge is going to be complete anytime soon. There it is. The land bridge is complete. Shaman's dancing around, being a bit weird. Come on, get it off. There you go. Land bridge down. Red does have the high ground here, so has to watch for the lightnings that yellow knows red has. And there's the earthquake from our yellow shaman as red nails her with a lightning. Going to get 2 huts completely, set fire to another 3. Warriors coming out of our red player. Going to be moving onto the high ground along with these fire warriors that are patrolling individually. Yellow does have warriors of his own, so it's not like these warriors are going to get in and do colossal amounts of damage. What has our red shaman got? Double lightning, no actual spells. So we'll see how this game plays out. 54 pop to 53. Population's almost dead even right now. Low pop on face-off is a bit of a given how the map plays out. Lightning's trade, shaman kills. Red warriors guarding that blooming tree. Yellow's going to build more side door defense. Perhaps even start building huts down there as well to secure more population. Red just continues to increase the number of warriors he has. It's 6 to 5. Yellow's hiding the existence of their warriors by putting them inside huts, which is very smart. Can't gauge enemy troop numbers if you can't bloody see them. These warriors have actually been lured in by a cheeky brave, and they're going to take a few fire warrior shots. They're not going to go down, but they are going to get a little bit damaged. 3 lightnings for our red shaman. Well, that's not going to help you stop a yellow shaman getting into your base if you're at the middle. But here are our red warriors. They're going to be pushing in, doing a lot of damage. The fire warriors are separating out amongst everything. Yellow shaman turns around to deal with red. I'm not sure that's the correct play. If your shaman has the mana, you want to make the enemy chase you. You don't want to turn around. This population's already been killed, but I suppose these warriors could do a lot of damage. In fact, they are doing a lot of damage. But that just makes me ask, where are Yellow's 5 warriors? If they weren't part of that battle, oh, here they are. Lightning gets them all, but Red pays for that dearly with his life. He goes down. Divinity's put a straw poll in my chat, and I don't know what it's for. Yellow Shaman now pushing in at the side, offering a little bit of a challenge. The lightnings from both these players have been absolutely awful. Ah, that was a roll. Yellow Shaman rolls into the water. Not sure she should have, but she definitely did. So the high ground is still in position of our red tribe shaman, with our yellow tribe shaman looking at the next options. Not building a hut on the side strip there. Doesn't want to. Red shaman charging only lights, so is forced to do shaman chasing. It's a brave move because I think throughout the series, Yellow Shaman has been slightly better than Red's. Red's general tenacity and ability to hold into games has been infinitely better. But Yellow Shaman, I think, has outclassed Red's. So opting for this lightning, I'm going to fight your Shaman style. It's dangerous. Lightning comes out from Red, does not connect with the Shaman. Yellow Tribe Shaman going to be trying to push forward. Red does have 2 more lights. Yellow trying to force Red to waste them. No wastage there, though. You're going in the water. Yellow Shaman dies again. Had that 1 earthquake forever, so I am wondering what Yellow is charging. So, Yellow is charging a 2nd earthquake, because that's just come in. Red has access to 2 lightnings. Now that Yellow has double earthquake, perhaps Yellow charges lights in an attempt to challenge Red. Red Shaman had an impressive 2 minutes 23 on his Keith 52 timer in the last game. Working on it again. Lightning coming out from Red does not secure the kill onto the Yellow Shaman. Red actually leaves the tower as well. Oh, very clever use of the high ground and then the spell cancel down the hill for the quick movement. But Yellow Shaman's still alive. Red Shaman still got 2 lightnings available to her. Pretending not to watch. Yellow comes in with the lightning. 1 lightning from Yellow kills Red Shaman. Double Earthquake going to come down from our Yellow Shaman now. Almost goes in the water. Thank God for the high ground hill, making her walk just a little bit slower. And this is what I mean. Red Shaman opted for a Shaman dueling style when I think Red's decision making throughout this tournament was very much not Shaman focused. It was very troop focused. Red played very well with creatures. Red kept growing pop, had very good defense, used warriors well, but not great Shaman dueling out of Red, and I think that's going to cost Red the game. Now, before I speak too soon, you can see there is an armada of warriors securing themselves on the high ground, which does mean there could be a great push into the yellow base with Pathfinding. Warriors aren't spread out too well. Yellow Shaman's just going to carry on destroying the red base as these red warriors get in amongst the population. And Yellow's warriors were sent to Red's base, which means Yellow has nothing in position to do. What was that shot? Single blast, gets the bounce. Everyone wanted building bounce in beta, and there you go, that's why. To make that shot. So Yellow's going to lose control of his base. Red's lost control of his base. This favours Red, because Red has run his population here. Yellow's population is all still here, waiting to be killed. Yeah, and Yellow is actually pulling back to deal with this. Because Red's population ran in the base and Yellow's taking a lot of damage from it, Yellow knows that they have to kill this, really. Not the base, but it's the pop. The massive group of warriors at the back of the base, especially. Fire Warrior's going to fire some shots, going to soften up a couple of the Fire Warriors, dealing a good amount of damage. You can hear the ambient sounds of battle as the Yellow Shaman closes in. And what remains of the red population is going to get taken out here as Yellow Warriors still run rampant across the base. There goes the last of Red's attacking forces. GG, says Yellow, perhaps a little bit BM, perhaps a little bit preemptively as Red Shaman rolls into the water. It was a valiant attempt from Blast. Blast played very well. Excellent trooping. Phenomenal demonstration of how the Preacher unit works in the fourth game. This warrior is going to get a massacre on. Red secures the Shaman kill, but what's he going to do? He's got 2 Braves left. I don't know where they are. I guess they're in here. Oh, one's here. He's got 1 Brave left in this hut. Oh, what a shot. Nice little shot by Red to get the push. Ah, there's the last Brave. In battle with the warrior. Red Shaman has to help. No, he's gone down. Red Shaman is the last man standing. No, Brave respawns. Lightning used to kill the warrior. Dismantle. It's not over. Move your pop. You can dismantle your way back into this game. Don't worry about it. Lightning used on the Fire Warriors. They are spread out, but they were not killed. Red's got one lightning left and maybe a blast, but I don't think so from the fact that the lightnings are being used. Red wants one last Shaman kill, but I don't think he's going to get it. The Fire Warrior volley gets him. Red goes down. Firestorm advances to the semi-finals after a ridiculously long series. I captured the guesses before this game goes down, so we'll be able to kill the stream here. Firestorm is our third player to advance. Firestorm will go forth to face Balloon in the semi-finals. GG's out for the players. That is the end of this quarterfinal. 4 hours and 15 minutes the stream took. Well done, both players. Holy shit.